Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to report about All Pro Wrestling's Bay Area Bash. Took place last night, Pekele Event Center, Daly City, California. I'm your host, the Messiah of the Microphone, the Podfather, and I'm the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today. It's Father's Day, so happy Podfather's Day to me. Actually, shout out Dave Dutra. He told me that last night after a very entertaining interview I did with he and AJ Kirsch that drops tomorrow, Monday morning, so look out for that. Here we go. So I got off work 7 p.m. You know, I work at a gas station, had to help people get gas and purchase snacks or whatever, so I missed the first match, which was the APW Universal title match. Jacob Fatu successfully retained his title by defeating the Fat Boy, Papa Esco. Don't know how the match ended at all. Sorry, people. But Will Hobbes, the APW Internet Champion, and Fatu, they have a promo, and they're talking about teaming together. Then Levi Shapiro comes in and attacks Hobbes with a chair because he's wrestling Hobbes later on in the night for the APW Internet title. So that happens. Then after that, we have Reno Scum make their way out to the ring because they're defending their APW tag titles against Bad Boys Inc. So here we go. Let's get the match breakdown. Lester starts off the match with Texteria. Hip tosses him into the ring and hits him with a bionic elbow. Adam Thornstowe gets tagged in, but Texteria quickly tags in his partner. I don't know his partner's name. I'm sorry. Adam gets in some offense, then tags back in Luster after a quick comedic armpit to the face spot by Reno Scum. Adam gets back in, but gets worked by Bad Boys Inc., gaining very little offense. A DDT wheelbarrow suplex combination by Scum picks up the victory, 1-2-3, and they successfully retain their All Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships. That was a good match. You know, the crowd chants, "Oi, oi, oi, oi," always for Reno Scum, so they always get the crowd invested in them. After this, Mike Miller, he was the former, manager. I think he used a different term for it, for JR Kratos, and he's been trying to find somebody to defeat Kratos since they severed their business ties. So, Sam Adonis, also, he's related to Corey Graves from Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, commentator, WWE. Yeah, so I love Sam Adonis' work, man. He resides from somewhere in Mexico, but he always wears those Donald Trump tie-dye, not tie-dye, but like airbrush tights that are always funny. But he had on different set of tights tonight, or last night, really. So here we go. Kratos and Adonis. Adonis uses heel tendencies to work the crowd, and the match starts with some chain wrestling. Kratos almost smacks the man bun off of Adonis with a large open palm slap to the face. It was hilarious. Adonis and Kratos take their fight to the outside. Back in the ring, Adonis hits a blockbuster. Kratos delivers a nice power slam followed by a suplex for a very close 2 count. Adonis low blows Kratos while the ref's back is turned to the opponents. The crowd boos. Match ends with a one-handed spine buster from Kratos, and then I believe this guy's name is Frost. He attacks Kratos after the match, and he catches a very nice jumping knee to the face by JR Kratos, so it looks like that's his next opponent. Really interesting. Frost, he looks familiar. I think I've seen him in the crowd before, because that's where he came from, essentially, the crowd. I don't know if he was a wrestler or retired or whatever, but we'll see what he does. We will see what he does. Alright, coming up next, another member of Bad Boys Inc., Boys Le Grande. I think he was the Dynamite Division champion. I remember, yeah, he was, because I talked to him a couple years ago when he had the title, and I guess the title's been retired now. You know, I held it or whatever, we're just chopping it up. Really nice guy. Anyway, he defeated Gregory Iron. Gregory Iron is the only professional wrestler to wrestle with cerebral palsy. It really hit home for me because my mother suffers from cerebral palsy and also epilepsy. But yeah, I've seen like Zach Gowen wrestle with one leg, and then that guy that's with AEW, he has no legs, and he was in the buy-in battle over the budget battle royal or whatever. But I've never seen anybody with cerebral palsy, so that was interesting. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried because he has cerebral palsy, so I think his left hand was bent downward and deformed. I was a little worried for his hand. I was hoping like, oh my god, please don't break your hand or whatever, because I was scared for the guy. I really was. But he won over the crowd. He did an amazing job. I wish I had talked to him after. I should have. He did an awesome job. So here we go. Match starts with chops. Boyce panders to the crowd as Iron gains offense. Iron hits a hurricanrana, then a suicide dive to the outside. Boyce damn near takes Iron's head off with a stiff ass clothesline. And Iron, his lip starts to bleed because he maybe bit his tongue or maybe even bit his lip. I don't know, but you start to see blood forming from the lip of Gregory. All right, Boyce hits a leg drop for a 2 count. Better than Hogan. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was better than Hogan. Didn't jump or anything. Just dropped it. Dropped it on him. Kind of like Nia Jax. All right. Iron kicks out of the big boot. Boyce wins with a fireman's carry gut buster. Yeah, Boyce LeGrand, I don't think I've ever actually seen him win a match. Now that I think about it, I think that was the first match I've ever seen him win. So yeah, but Gregory, he got a please come back chant after it was over, and he did a hell of a job. I was incredibly impressed with him. I want to see him wrestle again. I might have just look up his work after this recording and just binge watch some of his stuff because I'm really impressed by him. I love his stuff. All right, next up, the future Dave Dutra, also known as a former one half of the former Yolo County Tag Team Champions. We're going to get into that in a little bit later. He goes on to defeat the Flying Lion Marcus Lewis and War Pig Jody Christopherson for an opportunity at the APW Worldwide Internet Championship. Here we go. Lewis starts the match with hard punches and forearms to his opponents and then delivers a double Pele kick. Warpig gives a body slam demo to the crowd by hitting constant slams on his opponents. Warpig gets dumped to the outside. Marcus Lewis hits a beautiful toe pick on Hilo on Dutra and Warpig. Dutra stops Lewis on the top rope, and then the three guys perform the generic powerbomb suplex spot in any multi-man match. Dutra hits a spinning rope-assisted neckbreaker on Warpig. Now, Jody, he did retire for a couple years because I believe it was a neck injury that forced him into retirement. So I was a little iffy about him taking that move. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, you gotta. But they're professionals; they know what they're doing. It's still just a little, just worrying about the performers, especially if you know any sustainable injuries that they've had in the past. All right. So Marcus Lewis hits a 450 splash on Warpig, then Dave Dutra hits an elbow drop onto the back of Lewis's head for the cover, pins Lewis, and earns an Internet Championship match. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. All right, now the match that I was looking forward to at this show was the 16-year-old referee, Ring Crew Charlie, the young boy. He's been getting under the skin of Bad Boys Inc. for a couple APW shows now. So Rick Luxury, the veteran, wrestling personified, Rick Luxury, said he was going to kick his 16-year-old ass at Bay Area Bash. And here it is. Luxury gains offense after Charlie hits a standing shooting star press. Charlie comes back with a super kick ensiguri and then a lethal injection, which is the handspring jumping cutter. I was very impressed that he hit that. Charlie comes off the top with a corkscrew moonsault. Luxury hits a Jake Roberts and Jace DDT. Charlie wins with a tornado DDT. And yeah, kid got his first win, first ever wrestling match. I was shocked. I was like, wow, it's awesome. But then I think I was even more impressed with the kid after because he took a pile driver from Luxury. Now, a pile driver, we know it's not a safe move. I mean, there are different variations of a pile driver. Pile driver is what broke Steve Austin's neck when he had that match. I think it was like SummerSlam with Owen Hart back in like 97, maybe it was. But yeah, man, I mean, just like, it's a dangerous move, but I was impressed that the kid took it, and he sold the mess out of it. Like, when RVD used to get pile drivers, he'd like bounce off of his head and just kind of make it look even more vicious than it actually is. I thought that was interesting. So, congratulations to Ring Crew Charlie. Hopefully we see more of him in APW Ring. Maybe if they have like a big battle royal, he'll be one of the fan favorites in there. All right, next up we have Timeless Levi Shapiro, formerly with Buddy Royal, because Buddy Royal, he's doing the New Japan thing. He's a young lion over there, and they were the Classic Connection. They had the In-N-Out inspired gear. Loved it. He's always accompanied by Brian Zane, wrestling with regret. Brian Zane's always flashing that title. I mean, it's no Bullet Cast title, Brian, if you can hear this. Brian Zane, it's no BC title. My title's actually defended constantly. We may have to have a little predictions match to see who's the undisputed uh, king of covering professional wrestling. Well, undisputed champion. We'll see. We shall see. All right. So Shapiro versus Will Hobbes, good buddy of mine, for the APW Worldwide Internet Championship. Hobbes comes out taped up from the assault with the chair that Shapiro did earlier on in the night. Shapiro dives off the apron on Hobbes before the match even starts. The bell rings and Shapiro is on the attack. Hobbes hits a sick power slam. Hobbes takes a nasty spill to the outside, back into the ring. Hobbes hits a massive clothesline for a 2 count. Shapiro hits a jawbreaker, then a diving headbutt onto the shoulder of Hobbes. Hobbes comes back with multiple back suplexes. Shapiro hits a pile driver on Hobbes after a distraction from Brian Zane. Hobbes tried to go for a superplex, but Shapiro falls onto him for the 1-2-3 in classic 1986 style booking. Or a little mistake can cost you everything, and Levi Shapiro walks out of APW Bay Area Bash, the new APW Worldwide Internet Champion. That's interesting, man. So we got Dutra versus Shapiro, APW Internet title. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. It may happen at King of the Indies. It may happen at the show after that if they do one in August. But that's really interesting, man. I'm excited for it. I really am. All right, next up we have Timmothy Thatcher, former APW Universal Champion. I remember going to the APW Garage in Hayward, and he would be there as the champion. I love Timothy Thatcher. I love his work. I've followed him and seen what he's done with Evolve and other promotions. He's awesome. He goes up against the Perfect 10. Shawn Spears, a.k.a. Ty Dillinger. I met Shawn at the American Rebel Cigar Hangout in Vegas at StarCast. Just topped it up real quick. And then we were talking a little bit during his little meet and greet session at the show. Really nice guy, super nice. And go check out his Chris Van Vliet interview. It's almost an hour, but you need to watch every second of it. Not every minute, every second, because it's really good content that he's throwing out there. Shout out Chris Van Vliet. Alright, Thatcher and Spears exchange wrestles and a chain wrestle for a little bit. Spears hits a snapmare and then goes and does a cartwheel and hits the 10 pose, and then the 10 chants ensue. Spears chops Thatcher into the corner and then Thatcher just no-sells it. Thatcher and Spears fight to the outside. Thatcher handsprings upside down onto the apron and gets caught with a super kick. Spears puts Thatcher into a single leg Boston Crab. Thatcher makes it to the ropes to break the hold. Thatcher desperately tries to get an arm bar on Spears and is successful. Shawn fights out, then 10 chants start up again to kind of give him momentum to get his head back into the match. Spears tries to pin Timmothy with a rarely used jackknife cover, but it is not successful. Thatcher gets a deep Fujiwara armbar onto Spears. Spears refuses to tap out, so he just turns it into an inside cradle for the 1-2-3. Timothy Thatcher beats the Perfect 10, Shawn Spears. Well, he beat a guy that's all elite. That's interesting. I love Timothy Thatcher, like I said. Shawn Spears, really nice dude. I can't wait to see what he does coming up next with All Elite Wrestling and any other wrestling endeavors he may venture out onto. All right, next up, it is the APW Juniors Championship. The champion, Jungle Boy, signee of All Elite Wrestling, goes up against superstar Jake Atlas. Like I said, Jake Atlas, he is in, I said this like last APW show I went to and covered. He's in King of the Indies, so that we got some more King of the Indies talk to come up after this too. So here we go. Streamers were thrown out for Jungle Boy because it appeared to be a send-off for him because he signed with All Elite Wrestling. So here we go. Jungle Boy and Jake Atlas have a heated exchange at the start of the match. The two keep the momentum going with a quick offense. Jungle Boy takes down Jake Atlas and then says, "All Elite, bitch," and then proceeds to hit the ropes. Jungle Boy dives to the outside of the ring on Atlas. Atlas chops Jungle Boy hard, then hits stiff forearms. Atlas handsprings on the ropes from the outside. Jungle Boy pulls him off and hits him with a super kick. Jungle Boy runs full speed at Atlas, and Atlas just back body drops him into some chairs, and then they fight on the bleachers into the crowd for a little bit. Jungle Boy hits a beautiful slingshot spear a la Johnny Gargano into the ring. Atlas super kicks him off of the apron and then delivers a moonsault to the outside. Atlas hits a superplex and then goes for a Falcon Arrow, only for Jungle Boy to hit a Hurricanrana. Jungle Boy puts Atlas in the STF step over toe hold face lock. Jake makes it to the ropes. Jungle Boy kicks out of the pile driver and then breaks the count by grabbing the ropes after a super kick. Atlas kicks out of a double stomp to the head. Jungle Boy kicks out of the diving leg drop, a la Kenny Dykstra. A cartwheel DDT off of the top rope, which is Jake Atlas's finishing move, gets him the 1-2-3 huge win, and Jake Atlas becomes the new APW Juniors Champion. And then it appeared to be a quick a nice send-off for Jungle Boy. People were chanting, "Thank you, Jack," breaking kayfabe, that's his real name. And he grabs the mic, thanks Jake Atlas, says he loves him, and he just starts talking about APW, and it looks to be the send-off, but Marcus Mack, APW owner and promoter, shows up, and he says how he's known Jungle Boy since he was 12 years old, and he said he talked to somebody, he just got off the phone with somebody, and there's a spot left open in King of Indies, and he wants him in, and Jungle Boy accepts. So next month, July 5th, Friday, July 5th, King of Indies, we got Jungle Boy will be in there for, I would assume to be his truly final All-Pro Wrestling match. Hell of a match last night, man. Those guys killed it. Everybody on the card did great, seriously. You're never disappointed with an APW show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in the Bay Area or close to the Bay Area, look, take the time out of your day or whatever. Go to an all-pro wrestling show. Seriously, these guys are killing it. I love going to these shows. I just love wrestling, and they reinvigorate that every time I go to a show. Seriously, man. These guys are awesome. And then doing meet and greets with wrestlers and at intermission before the show, after show, just go up to them, say how you appreciate their work. They're really nice, really cool guys. I love it. I love it all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, APW Bay Area Bash, great show. July 5th, Friday, July 5th, King of the Indies, Ace Romero's in there, Jungle Boy, Jake Atlas, and some other names. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait for it. All right, this has been the Bullet Cast, and on Monday, interview with former Yolo County Tag Team Champions, the future Dave Dutra and AJ Kirsch, drops tomorrow, and there's a picture of me holding a title with them, so possibly a 6-man Yolo County Tag title is in the works. We don't know, or I could be managing them. We'll see. You have to listen to the interview to find out. This has been the Podfather. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. To all the fathers out there, have a happy Father's Day.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.